Westminster Cathedral was the setting as more than 1,000 people gathered for Aid to the Church in Need's first ever Night of Witness. Beginning with Mass, the event continued with an outdoor rally and a prayer vigil, all held in support of Christians persecuted for their faith. Young and old, Catholics, Protestants and Orthodox alike, bishops, priests and lay, people of all backgrounds, came together to stand up for faith and freedom. They came to show their solidarity for Christians who endure the way of the cross because of persecution and oppression. They came to pray for the thousands upon thousands of Christians who die for their faith each year. So what inspired people to come out in such numbers for the Night of Witness?
Well, firstly, obviously, my parents are originally from Pakistan, and they came to this country in 1960 to actually escape persecution for being Christian there. It's a cause that's very close to mine and Bernard's heart, and obviously the community in Nelson, because we've got a strong Pakistani Christian community there. And when we hear about what is happening on back in Pakistan, obviously we want to create as much awareness as possible.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you're here today?
Well, I'm coming to serve the Mass, and I want to be part of the community to give my support not only to the people who are present in the Mass, but also to the rest of the world who needs our prayer.
Do you ever feel your worth?
The key focus of the event in May 2012 was a rally for religious freedom on the cathedral piazza. It featured some inspiring performances from a wide range of Christian artists. There were talks from leading figures including Archbishop Vincent Nichols of Westminster and Dr. Michael Nazir Ali, the Emeritus Bishop of Rochester, who called for action to defend religious freedom in the West, as well as in countries notorious for persecution of minority groups. The UK Director of Aid to the Church in Need, Neville Kirk-Smith, explained why he felt it was important for the charity to stage an event like the Night of Witness.
Well, really it's following up from the papal visit to go out into the public square and witness and to say how important religious freedom is, because at the moment in some of the changes around the world we're seeing that religious freedom is not being respected. If you take the Arab Spring, the Arab Awakening, what is happening is religious minorities are not being respected. And if you're going to form a new society, then civil society, you need to have religion there at the heart of that society, so that society can act with charity and concern for all people.
The Religious Freedom Rally included the premiere of a new work by the Elliott Smith Dance Company. Elliott Smith explained that he was inspired to compose it after reading ACN's report about oppressed Christians, a work called Persecuted and Forgotten, which gave its name to his new piece.
And it just touched me very deeply, and I knew then it was to start to make a brand new work based around that book. And I think it's myself being a practicing Catholic Christian, it's very touching to think that you can still be persecuted across the world for something if you believe in any faith. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim, Catholic, Buddhist. To me it's fascinating, and for that reason I'm doing a brand new work, and that's the reason why it's called Persecuted and Forgotten. The dance obviously is aimed as a token of courage for those people who are being persecuted across the world.
At the event, Pakistani singer Hamad Bailey performed a tribute to Shahbaz Bhatti, the late Federal Minister for Minorities in Pakistan. Mr. Bhatti was assassinated in March 2011 for standing up for Christians and other persecuted minority groups. Catholic pop group Uberfuse were also on stage at the event. Hal and Cherry from the band told us about their song Blood Cries Out, which was also inspired by Shabaz's memory.
It's a painful song because we really had to open ourselves up to the horror and of his assassination, and at the same time look for a positive message in that darkness, which was a challenge.
Yeah.
And it's one of the wonderful things about it, of course, is it actually includes words from one of his last interviews,
Where he says, you know, I think one of the most powerful things he says is when he says, "I know the meaning of the cross."
Earlier in the evening, Bishop Declan Lang of Clifton celebrated Mass in Westminster Cathedral. Celebrating were special guests for the occasion, Coptic Catholic Bishop Johannes Zakaria of Luxor in Egypt, and Pakistan's Archbishop Joseph Coots of Karachi.
Because I see that this is an occasion to not only share information about me, about the church in Pakistan, but it's a sharing of faith really, being invited by Church in Need and meeting the people, celebrating, praying together, celebrating the Eucharist. It's really a sharing of our faith, a sharing of how we live our faith in certain difficult circumstances, and to hear from also others who are coming for this event, fellow Christians who are also living under very difficult situations, many of them more difficult than what we are facing. So it is an occasion to be encouraged, to listen to others, to be strengthened by others, to pray for others, and Church in Need, which is already helping us so much, to in a certain way carry forward in the way, any way we can, to be supportive of the work you are doing, to be supportive to us.
The concert over, Wilson Chowdhury and the British Pakistani Christian Association led the congregation back into the cathedral for the Vigil of Light service. During the vigil, the congregation prayed the mysteries of light of the Rosary. Candles were lit in memory of the martyrs of today who have lost their lives because of persecution. Among those who were remembered was 4-year-old Emmanuel Dilka from Nigeria. He died on Christmas Day along with his father, brother, sister and 40 others when the extremist group Boko Haram bombed St. Teresa's Church in the town of Madala. Father Mark Odion from Nigeria lit the candle for Emmanuel at the Night of Witness. He told us that Boko Haram were trying to drive Christians out of Nigeria. Many faithful fear for their future, but, said Father Mark, they are determined to stay strong in their faith.
Some saw it as a means of actually standing for their faith. And some will say that the blood of martyrs is indeed the seed of Christianity. And some Catholic or some Christians see that as a way of actually testifying to the truth, to their faith.
Also at the event was Father George Mampilil, a priest from Kerala in India. He told us about his own experience of persecution when he was a seminarian.
That's right. When I was doing my studies in our major seminary, we used to perform Christmas programs in various villages. And there was a time when we were staging a Christmas drama. A group of people came and they smashed the stage and they attacked us, and we had to literally run for our life.
Dying for his faith was something Father Ragid Ghani was also prepared to do. This heroic priest was martyred outside his church in Mosul, northern Iraq, in 2007. Extremists gunned him down, along with 3 deacons, for defying their demand to close the church. Dr. Suhar Rassam of the charity Iraqi Christians in Need told us about Father Ragid's final moments.
And he was approached by some radical Muslims and asked to close the church. And he did not. He did not sort of follow their orders. He continued to say Mass. And one day, as he was leaving the church, he was approached by gunmen. He was accompanied by 3 deacons with their wives. The women were sent away, and the whole an area around them was sort of like cordon, and they were just shot there and left there, and that's it. And nobody know who the identity of these killers or of the murderers were.
and we understand that one of the wives who happened to survive told the story of how Father Ragid was approached by one of these gunmen.
Yes,
What did he say to him?
Yeah, I mean, they told him, we told you to close this church, why didn't you do it? And he said, how can I close the church of God or the house of God?
Many more incidents of persecution, often unknown to the outside world, are detailed in a new Aid to the Church in Need report, which was released to coincide with the Night of Witness. The report, titled Christians in the Struggle for Religious Freedom, is available from acnuk.org/persecution. The report, and indeed the whole Night of Witness event, was a response to Pope Benedict XVI's call for religious freedom to be recognised as what he calls the first of human rights. Neville Kirk-Smith underlined the importance of standing up for that right.
Part of the reason this is a celebration of hope and faith, a celebration really of looking beyond the cross, of the suffering of the present time, to the resurrection and to the hope of Christ. And for us as a Catholic charity, again, we need to be out there to educate people, to inform them so they can put pressure on MPs, they can put pressure on the European Parliament, they can encourage others to act for those who are suffering today and where religious rights and human freedoms are not respected.
As Aid to the Church in Need continues in its task of bringing the light of Christ to parts of the world shrouded in suffering, your support, your prayers, and your compassion are more important than ever. Thank you for standing up for faith and freedom.